Wait, I was fucking laughing, dude. I was over there, prete, bien cagalero. He's like my brother. I was fucking laughing, prete. Estaba Wait, I was messaging with Marcos because I was going through a really bad time over there in the other apartments. In the other apartments. My cousin moves in, right? One of my cousins. Y sí le pedía a él. But when he was doing really good, he didn't have any scars. He didn't have tattoos. He was always a really good person. He would always behave really good and everything. And sí le pedí. Desde esa time le pedí a él. Cuando se hizo la scar aquí en la head. Cuando estaba acostado en el car. Desde esa vez. Yo me acuerdo que nosotros nos habíamos ido para la playa con el muchachito. Nos fuimos para la playa y era un de ese Thunderbird, un Thunderbird. And we were very happy, dude. Very happy. We didn't have any problems. My cousin was very clean, very representable. He didn't have tattoos. He didn't have scars. He didn't have nothing. He was a little boy of like 5-10 years old, and he would behave really good. But we lived very different lives, and pues it was easy for me to ask of help from him because he's from the family, but he's not my real cousin. He is related to us because his mom and my dad's his mom and my mom's brother are husband and wife, but they haven't had a real wedding. And he has brothers and sisters now since that time that we asked for help from him for my mom's side of the family. So él es hijo de otro muchacho. But that's what they told us. I don't know if it's true. But we were there, right? At the apartment building. And my cousin wasn't living there with us yet. I was feeling very sick, very down, but it was not one of those sicknesses where you feel pain in your body or anything like that, but you feel something wrong in your body, like if there was something different. And so my cousin moves in, and I remember I had been at my aunt's house, my mom's sister's house over there in Far. It's because when we asked of help from him, we were living in Far, not over there in Alamo. And they moved us to San Juan, but we asked of help since we were over there in Far to my cousin JR. And so my cousin moves in, right? And I go over to my aunt's house over there in Far. But this lady is my mom's sister, not my uncle's wife. It wasn't JR's mom. It was another lady. Yeah, and so, yeah, I see him like my son. He was with me throughout the whole time that we were in Far, but not every day or every hour. He was just there sometimes with us. So se me hizo fácil invitarlo y lo invitamos. Ay, no, we started to regret not because of the kids or anything, but because he didn't have any of those changes. Not the whole family. He didn't have those changes that he has now. He looks totally different. His body has like tattoos. He has lots of body changes. Like he grew in size, but he doesn't look very healthy. He's very big and everything, but he's not very healthy. And he has tattoos now. And so I was like, man, it sucks. I should have stayed by his side when I asked him for help. I shouldn't have left him there by himself. I feel guilty. I feel really bad. I shouldn't have left him there. So we lost a house that we had that time when I asked him for help, and that he was asking for help there at the house. We lost my grandma and we lost my grandpa. And they say, no, it's because they were already old. They really did need help that time, but it's because they were like 80 or 90 years old already, my grandparents. and they were always there. But they never told me that. I was the one thinking that. So yo le mandé message a este Marcos cuando estaba yo allá en la house de la sister de mi mom, mi tía, my tía, the one in far. And she lives right in front of the street where I went to school in, and where este Nicolás and este Paul used to live at. They do live there, but I don't know what happened to Nicolás because I was not there when that happened to him. But I knew about it because Yesenia called me and told me. And so entonces I called este Marcos, but not directly. Le mandé un message. And he was replying to everything. Him, Dylan, Edward, Michael, I think even Paul and Jay were replying at that time. But they never came over. Like, to my house, no. Never. None of them. You could ask them if you want to. And so cuando yo llegué para acá para San Juan, when they moved me out of Alamo, because when I was really good with este Nicolás, when we had no trouble with Nicolás or nobody that we knew in far, the only ones we had trouble with was with my grandma and grandpa, and also with Gladys. But my mom would always defend me, not Gladys, because Gladys took advantage of my mom when my uncle was there, her husband, and my mom's brother's wife was there, JR's mom, la mom de JR, la real mom de él. So everybody was mad because we lost my grandma's house, my grandma, and my grandpa. And so se aprovecharon Chuyito, Carlos, y Lisette, y estaban todos arguing y fighting. Por eso no quería yo dejar de hacer la visita. Cuando Nicolás me mandó los messages, las calls y todo eso, I was going directly to his house because I really needed to talk to him about something. And it was something that I really, with all my heart, wanted to talk to him about. And it was a good intention. It was something good that I was going to do for myself by doing that. But I didn't do it. But it was about something bad because you're not supposed to do drugs or get sexually involved before the age of 18. And especially if you are still depending of your mom and dad. Me and Marcos met before the age of 15 and had already had sex before the age of 15. And so Nicolás could have helped me with all of that if I would have gone to his house when he was calling, messaging, and waiting. He sent me lots of voicemails, lots of text messages, lots of calls. And Yesenia had nothing to do with it. She was not even there because she didn't live there in the neighborhood. And she was not even there for me every day, all day. But my mom, my grandma, and Gladys have been in my life more than my dad. And my dad doesn't live there in far. My dad lives over there in Alamo. And my dad doesn't like us at all. But we don't like talking about that because when you're over here helping the family and you live there with them, that's different. What I wanted to know is why did Nicolás call and message so many times at that time, but he never came to visit before that? And what I wanted to know is if he was the person who knew students at Bears the time that I had moved out from my house in Alamo. That's what I wanted to know. Pero cuando Marcos y yo nos conocimos, we had sex. Not the way that I would have wanted, but they counted that at school and everybody was getting in trouble because of fights that there was and because of rules that they have at the school. So yo le mandé una message, una call a Marcos cuando yo me moví para acá, here in this property. But never, mijo, never of the 5-10 years that have passed has he came to see me. Like, when you knock on the door, like the way they came to visit today or yesterday or the day before yesterday, like that. Never. Nicolás tampoco. And that's what I wanted to know. Why is it that every time it's about relationships, he says yes, but when it's about being friends, he always says no. ¿Me entiendes? Like, you know, when you make a regular visit with a friend that lives like 2 minutes away or like 5 minutes away from the house, you just go outside, you knock the door, and that's it. Why did he take a long time? How come he never came to knock on the door, and how come he never came to visit? That was my question. Not at that very moment when I wanted to go see him, but right now that I'm having all the problems that I have because of his passing. I mean, if I could give up on me so he could help himself or help his family so we could fix the problem that there is right now, and like not give up on myself, but like if I could try to help, I will help to see what I can help with, like of information or what can help them so the problem can go away. Like the problems that we have of why we cannot live in FAR, because we cannot live in FAR because of that. And it's not because I don't like him. It's because when we were living there, he didn't try to be there for us. And so I moved out. I went over, but it was not because of him. It was because I was dating someone in Alamo. And my dad and his whole family, they live in Alamo. All of them. They live in Alamo. And we were there in Alamo. So they moved me out from Alamo and they passed me over to San Juan. And where that's why I was asking, because of bears. Not because of the students, not because of the relationship, not because of the family, because of the school. That's why. Because I didn't graduate and I need help with school so I could get a career and a job. Like it has to be a professional job. Even if it's $5 an hour, even if it's part-time, even if it's just 3 hours a day, even if it's 4 days out of the week, anything that is very easy to do at the house. Like, nomás con que sea algo fácil de hacer en la casa. Tiene que ser algo fácil, como cleaning an office, organizing paperwork, doing documentation on the computer, like depending what your profession is, that's what they're gonna pay you for. So entonces yo pues le mandé message a Marcos, pero Marcos nunca llegó, nunca habló ni nada. Y yo estaba enojada porque I always had this hope of starting a family, but because of Nicolás. Ya dije la verdad, it's because of Nicolás. But he never talked about that with me. Never. Not even me to him. Like I just kept it in my thoughts, but I never told him. And so yeah. So entonces nosotros pues we wanted him to come over. Él, Nicolás. And we wanted him to be there for us because we were very happy when he was there for us. And so I kind of didn't like Jay and Paul because of what they did when Yesenita was dating Nicolás. Because you just don't do that. When you are dating one friend, you don't date everybody in the group because it looks bad. Like se ve mal. She doesn't care. She doesn't see it like that. But I do see it like that. Because we carry with the responsibility of all the visits. Whether it's a church coming to visit. Whether it's a regular person coming to visit. Whether it's a professional coming to visit. A friend or a family. Any visits that are made are very, 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 very important. Because that's what you're gonna, especially if it was a relationship. It doesn't matter if it was Yesenia, Jackie, Magali, or me. Especially if it was a relationship. Because that already tells you that the person thought of you starting a family, marriage, or having a baby together, adopting kids together, or having sex, or getting back together, or spending time with you. Like being there for you every day. You know, every day. I thought about it every day. So, okay, so that's why that's important. It's not important to Yesenita. If it was important to her, she would come and pick me up every day so we could go see his family. So we could go talk to his mom to see what we could help with. She doesn't want to. Because every time she comes to the house, se hacen puros problemas. My grandma got after Yesenita. Her dad got after her. My uncle got after Yesenia. Because of that, le pescó muchas cosas de a ella. Y por eso te estoy diciendo, Yesenia probably doesn't care, but I do care. Because he was my neighbor. Not next door, but in the same neighborhood. It didn't even take 15 minutes to go to his house. It only took like 5-10 minutes to get there. He didn't need a bicycle. He didn't need a skateboard. He didn't need skates. He didn't need to look a certain way. He didn't need to be the best person in the neighborhood. He didn't need anything to be there for us. All he had to do was want to be there and try to be there by giving us a visit or going to see us. ¿Me entiendes? So that's what I wanted to know. Why is it that it always has to be a relationship and not be friends? Like, porque nunca hay, like, you know how me and Crystal are? That we talk to each other, we're there for each other only sometimes, but we're friends only? Like that. But it's maybe you're right. Maybe it's because she's a girl, right? But that's what I was looking for with him. Someone that can be there. Y entonces, I didn't want to be friends with Paul, but I had to accept him again and welcome him in because of Nicolás. Not because of Yesenita, because of Nicolás. And also John J. Pero John J doesn't want to know nothing about me or Yesenita or anything because he's taking care of his son, taking care of his wife, taking care of his family. I understand that. But when you live 5-10 minutes away, across the street from there, and you know the person is there and needs help, and you never go see them, and they're your like friends from school or friends that you used to talk to or people that you used to talk to or that you like and you dated, you're supposed to go. So, sí quedaron todos enojados por eso, porque cuando yo iba a llegar a la house de él y él venir a la mía, ni él llegó a la mía ni yo a la de él. Yes, I went on a date with him, but we didn't go out. Like, no fuimos para ningún lugar. Pero él no llegó a mi casa después de esa llamada, y no era una, eran bastantes. Y después de ese voicemail, y no era un voicemail, eran bastantes. Y después de ese text message, nunca, mijo, nunca, te lo juro. Nunca llegó a mi casa, ni yo a la de él. No sé si a lo mejor yo me haya olvidado, yo haya estado borracha o endrogada o algo, pero nunca llegó. Por eso le mandé message a Dylan, Marcos, Matthew, Edward, y parece que Paul y Jay me contestaron. Pero como yo no hice la visit con Nicolás, y Nicolás no me hizo la visit a mí, y le pasó eso, quedaron todos enojados. Porque están preguntando, ¿por qué le dijiste que no? ¿Y por qué le echaste mentiras? ¿Y por qué no llegaste? ¿Por qué le echaste mentiras? Okay, that's what they want to know about that. Que si yo llegué a la casa de él, no. Pero sí pasé por ahí y sí di la vuelta ahí donde vive él. Y sí fui a ver a mi tía en esos años que le pasó eso a él. Y sí estuvimos ahí con la familia. Pero jamás, mijo, jamás, de los 10, 15 años que han pasado, jamás hemos volvido a ir a la casa de él, like, to go spend time with him, to go spend time with Paul, to go spend time with John J, like, the way we used to before, where we were all there and nobody was mad, nobody was jealous, nobody was fighting, nobody was arguing, like that. That's how we were with Nicolás. When Nicolás was there with us, that's how we were. We were all happy, we were all friends, and we were all there for one another. We never put excuses when we were there for one another, and we never said no about being there for one another. That's what I remember. But what I remember also is that since those messages, those text messages, those voicemails and calls, I have not been the same at the house with my family, with my friends, or with my neighbors. And that's what I was saying. Did he know someone from Bears, like the people that know Jesse? Or did he know somebody from there? Like from Jesse's friends, Jesse's family, or whatever. I don't know, because He just wanted to be smoking weed all day, and he just wanted to be partying and playing rock and roll music. He just wanted to be having sex all day. He just wanted to be with his mom and dad. And his mom and dad would always tell him yes about everything. And over here, it's totally different. If Nicolas was here, he'd be able to tell you the difference of when me and him were friends to when I was friends with the other guy. The other guy didn't know Nicolas or me or John Jay or Paul. If he did before I met him, then that's why we have problems. Él no ha venido, mijo, ni Paul, ni Jay, ni Yesenita. None of them have came. Pero yo me estaba riendo por Marcos, because of Marcos. Because when I saw that he had kids already, and that I still had a hope about coming out pregnant from him, I realized that he didn't even think about me or remember me or anything. And I was like, Nambre, I thought that he was going to be one of those persons that would come back to look for me and always be there for me. Marcos. Pero Marcos, no. He changed a lot. Like, he changed a lot. Totally. But, yeah, the last time I talked to him, I was living over there in the other apartments over there. Where Crystal lives at right now, there. She lives across the parking lot from me. But it's not Jesse's ex-girlfriend. It's another girl. We have 2 Crystals in the family. Crystal Salazar and Crystal Muñoz. Crystal Muñoz es la wife o la mom de los kids de JR. Y Crystal Salazar es la mom de los kids de Joel. Pero ni JR ni Joel han tenido una real wedding. Y la ex-girlfriend de Jesse también se llama Crystal. Pero se llama Crystal Cantú. And she's not from far, like from the neighborhood. I don't know where she lives or where she's from. I don't know where she's from. I don't know if that's probably why. But she met Jesus Vargas first. Then I met him. Supposedly. I don't know if it's true. But supposedly she met him first, then me. I don't know if it's true.